Okay, today we're going to talk about the dose, and that's the dose of exercise. A lot of times, when we have problems with exercises, anything we're pursuing, it's about the dose. Whether we go for, let's say the first time we've ever gone for a run, we decided we're going to do a 2-mile run. Do a 2-mile run, horrific knee pain. Wow, I'm not a runner. Even a mile, I'm not a runner. My knees can't tolerate running. Well, maybe there's some steps we can do to correct the dose to allow you to be that runner. In case of running, I'll have people do a walk-jog program. They'll walk for a minute, they'll jog for a minute. Really easy, like almost barely beyond a walk. But I do believe a lot of things in life we judge too early. We throw out the exercise or the activity too quickly. We don't achieve the right dose, the starting point. Once we achieve that starting point, we have success, we feel comfortable, we can move beyond that. So I think running or jogging is a clear example of something we say, I'm just not a natural runner. I can't run, I have knee problems. And listen, sometimes there's some things that we have to address, maybe structurally, we need to work on some focal strength problems, form, flexibility. But a lot of times we're just starting out too fast, or we're starting out with too big of a goal, and we just have to pull things back and take it in baby steps, which is we've heard numerous times. And I do believe that in exercise. Another thing that, besides running and jogging, I like to talk about squats. Oftentimes I'm told, or a lot of times I'm not trying to beat up on physicians, but physicians are telling patients occasionally, not all of them, are saying you can't squat. And I mean just cavalier, like across the board, you can't. Squatting is just not great, don't squat. And I say, listen, I think there's times when certain people can't do that, but I think a lot of times we can take certain steps to get to that squatting motion, besides the fact that it's a highly functional thing. We get out of a chair, we squat. It's a form of squat. Call it a chair squat. And we're not talking about this crazy image of CrossFitters with hundreds of pounds of weight on their back and yelling with weight belts on. We're talking about just our body weight and squatting. And sometimes that is even too much for people to accommodate to. So what are some things we can do to kind of work on the early stages of a squat? I mean, I'll have people literally just stand up and literally put their arms in front of themselves and just unlock their knees and lock their knees, just to kind of get a little bit of motion in there. And that'll be their starting point before they go into a full squat. And slowly we'll increase the depth. We'll warm them up on the bike, we'll work some flexibility, but we'll start on progressive increases in depth as they feel like they can do it. Let's say, listen, Tom, every time I go ahead, and this doesn't happen often, but even kind of doing this slight little bend is just too much for my knees. I'm having a lot of pain. It's bothering me. I really suffered even after I did that. Another way to do this too, I'm gonna have Scott back up, our great cameraman, resident intern here. We can also do, kind of scoot around here. This is called a leg press. So the leg press right here is essentially using your body weight to provide the resistance. And based on the angle of this track, like this right here, this set right here, number 10, this is about 70% of body weight. So when I rest on here, in fact, I'll get on here just so we can see what we're doing here. Let's kind of move over here today. So we're gonna kind of get ourselves here, almost in the form of a squat position here. And we are now at 7% of my body weight, roughly, okay? It's not full body weight. So we can start out just doing some slight half distance, little mini squats, just equal pressure. Granted, it's not the full body weight. Okay, and as we feel comfortable, we can drop that distance down and start going a little lower as we warm up, where those muscles start guiding those joints, and we start feeling better with the pattern of movement. Okay, and in other cases, we can't even start at this. We have to go even a little lower, and by dropping this angle here, we can drop it out to these different levels, and we can take a portion of our body weight. We can drop it down to, let's say, 50% of our body weight, 40% of our body weight. I do believe, unless you have some horrible structural things, the dose is right, you can eventually do a squat and work our way up to 7%. Then we'll add a little weight because we can't go any higher than this. Maybe we'll add a few weights on here, some of our barbell weights right here, put on the edge here and then increase that weight. And eventually to the point where you have enough strength to perform a basic squat out of a chair. And I'll start with just body weight squats. So I do believe in fitness and in therapy and in life, if we can get the dose right, the dose is the key. Too much, the tissues deform, we go into an injured state, we cause inflammation, we can't do it. If we have enough of a dose, so we can slowly get strength without increasing pain or sensitivity or swelling in the area, we can get better. But don't give up on an activity just based on the fact that you've tried it and you can't do it. Whether it be a squat, a jog, whatever the activity may be, there may be something in between that you can do. Other times, you may need a good evaluation by a physical therapist or a trainer to see where are some problem areas that you can't accomplish it, even with changing the dose. So let's keep that in mind, all about the dose, and share this. And don't give up on an activity you really want to do. Figure out the dose. Share this with some friends, okay? Have a great day.